What's up, everybody? You are now in tune to the greatest reaction channel on the entire planet. It's the one and only Diamond Don Juan. And today is a very special day. I've got a special guest, and we are reacting to a very special artist. You want to introduce yourself?
Silver Stars, back at it again.
That's right. This is none other than my son. And I guess I'm a terrible dad. I'm like the worst dad ever because I've never introduced you to Pink Floyd.
Never.
Truth be told, I only started really listening to Pink Floyd when we started doing these music reactions. It's one of these bands that's considered like one of the greatest bands of all time, first of all, widely considered. Their live performances are considered to be some of the best live performances of all time. But it was one of those bands that I just always thought it was kind of like unk music. Like, because they've been around for like a long time, since like the 70s. And so they were, a little bit older when I was your age. And there was a lot of kids my age that actually listened to them and were like, yeah, you've got to go see the shows. You've got to go see the light show. And for whatever reason, I just wrote them off. I didn't partake when I had the opportunity. And honestly, now that I've seen them, it's a genuine regret for me that I was just so close-minded.
You missed out, bro.
But that's all right, because you know what? I'm not going to make the same mistakes. So I'm going to introduce you to them today. And today we're reacting to Another Brick in the Wall. So I'm very curious to see what your take is on this.
I am too.
Mm-hmm.
I am too.
All right, we're going to dive in. That's a long enough intro, so let's get into it.
Secret code? Oh, poems, no less. Poems, everybody! The laddie reckons himself a poet. Money gets back. I'm all right, Jack. Keep your hands off my stack. New car, caviar, four-star daydream. Think I'll buy me a football. Absolute rubbish, laddie. Get on with your work. Repeat after me. An acre is the area of a rectangle whose length is 1 furlong and whose width is 1 cubit.
We
Have you ever heard that?
No,
Never.
I've never
I
heard
just
that
thought
before.
it's just so like iconic. It's like one of those things. It's, they play in movies. I just thought that maybe you would recognize it.
Oh, I do not recognize this.
All right. So initial thoughts.
It's good.
Yeah.
I like it. What's going on with their faces?
It's funny because I've seen this a little bit, and at first I was like, I thought it looked like almost like a pumpkin head the first time I saw it. But what is your impression? I'm going to ask you, what is your impression of the overall like theme of like the song and the video so far? So I should say that like one of the things that Pink Floyd is known for is like their albums. So they're known for creating some of the best albums of all time that you can sit down and listen to from beginning to end. Okay. At the time when they came out, that was like a big difference between the modern era where you have Spotify and people will just release songs or singles. But at that time, there was an art to like the album release. And so they put like a lot of thought into the production of the album, telling a story. And this actually has a movie associated with it called The Wall, which I have never seen. Never seen The Wall, but that's where this comes from. So anyways, back to my original question. That's part of what this is about, is like kind of like a theme. And this is like part of a movie that they did with the full album. But what do you think about the song and its meaning and like how the, video ties in with it?
I don't know. It's interesting because like at the start, was that a Nazi thing? The train, the Jews? No.
I don't know if it's that specifically, but I think it is trying to get across a message of authoritarianism is kind of what they're getting at.
Okay. That makes sense.
But
the representation.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So the movie The Wall,
mm-hmm.
It sounds familiar. The name sounds familiar. What is The Wall supposed to be?
They did an album called The Wall and they made a movie that's in conjunction with it. So that's what it is. It's like there's a whole like theme again. Like I haven't watched it. I haven't ever listened to the whole album either. So I'm kind of ignorant about what the full message is. I have some ideas just based on like the songs that I've heard, but I haven't listened to the whole album. I haven't watched the movie. So, I only have just kind of like a tidbit. And then this is like one of their biggest songs ever, but also it is like, putting forth this message. So when I see like their faces, at first I was kind of like, that's an interesting choice. But I think what that represents for me is there's no features. It's like this clay mask with no features, no nose. It's kind of like scary and creepy. And I take that as like, here you have all these children that are coming into the school and they have, just their normal, beautiful child faces, smiling and everything. And then they're going through the school system that's like a factory. And then their faces are being stripped. So like all of their features are gone. And it's just like this mask that's all the same. So there's no expression. There's no individuality, no noses, no mouths. I don't even know if they have ears. So it's like they're being like stripped of their personality and their person and even their voice because they don't even have mouths. So that's what I took it as.
Messed up. This is school. Seen some kids happen to them.
Yeah.
Walk around and just.
Yeah, I thought this would be interesting to do because like you haven't had the easiest time in school lately. And so it's been kind of a little bit of a struggle in our household with, you going to school and going through it. And I'm going to get to that at the end. We can have a conversation about that. We'll just finish this video, but I have certain thoughts on it. We'll get into it a little bit later and have that convo. All right, let's finish the video out. And we'll see what your final thoughts are. All right.
It's crazy. I really didn't have to burn down the school like that, but
No, they didn't have to.
I didn't have to.
All right. So, what was your interpretation of the song after listening to the whole thing?
I like it. It's a good song. It's a good song. Of course, I'd have to watch the movie or in the entire album to really understand what the hell is going on. But yeah, it's good. It's a good representation of like how schools are like not what they used to be, or maybe.
I mean, that's the thing that's interesting because this, was made, I think, like in the early 80s. So, think about that. That this has been a problem for people like 40 years ago, when this came out or whenever it came out, that was their feeling about school. What?
Nothing. It's crazy.
Wild to think about.
Wild to think about.
Yeah. So for me, like when I see this, video, when I hear the song, it's just like this factory and this idea of school system not necessarily being something that is bringing out the best version of you or really looking at you as an individual and respecting that and trying to mold you into the best version of yourself. It's like, instead, it's like, hey, let's take, a round peg and put it in the square hole. It's like, we're going to force you into this thing, even if you're not the right shape. You're going to go into this box. And if you're not the right shape and you don't fit, we're just going to try and shove you through that because the goal is not necessarily to make an individual that's happy and successful. It's to make somebody who's going to follow the system. And, that's like, it says it, another brick in the wall. So you're just another, piece of this machinery that's supposed to fit into the system.
Right.
So that's why it's always interesting because I was saying that like you've kind of had some, I guess, issues in school in the sense that you haven't been the most focused. I'm not trying to put you on blast. That's not what I'm doing at all. But I definitely had a hard time in school. Like when I see that kid that's at his desk and he's like writing his poems and the teacher's basically like making fun of him, even though that's his own self-expression. It's like I have memories and like flashbacks of moments like that in school for me when I was like reading or doing something and I was actually very engaged with the stuff, but I just wasn't following along with the class. And I got like called out and like, made fun of basically in front of the classroom by the teacher. And it was just like so discouraging.
Yeah, that does not happen nowadays. I mean, unless you're on your phone or something like that, that does not happen. But yeah.
What is the school experience like for you?
It's good.
You haven't had any issues with teachers or anything like that?
Of course, but like the real issue comes from like if you're like behaving or not, and you're like doing what you're supposed to be doing. So as long as
they're not pushing any ideology in school, that's a little weird.
Nope, not at all.
For real?
For real.
Okay. You don't want to talk about it?
Talk about it.
Oh, I don't know. I just feel like there's some things that you've told me about, like some of the teachers and stuff that you're like, all right. All right.
Oh, man.
All right. We're going to leave it at that. I guess we're not going to touch on that subject. But yeah, I mean, I think this music is timeless and that this message is timeless because I think that no matter how far back that you go, at least like in our modern, American history, that schooling has always been one of these things that seems to be more about upholding a system than trying to build up like the individual. And I think it has gotten better in some ways. Like we've had conversations with your teachers and, there's a lot of them that actually seem pretty engaged. That is one thing that I want to say. I don't want to just, take a shit basically on the whole school system, because there have been teachers that have reached out to us that are very engaged with you and your success. But I also know, like, it's been hard for me, and this is where it's like I have to find that balance as a parent, because I dropped out in, ninth grade. So it's hard for me to be like, oh, you need to focus on school. Like, you need to do your work, because I wasn't able to like focus on school and be able to really have success in school. So that's where I try to find the balance of being like, okay, hey, this is good for you to like the socialization. There are great things in school that you can learn, but also I didn't fit into that system. So that's where I'm like, I want to push you, but not push you so hard, because that would be like hypocritical of me to do that.
Yeah.
And also, like, that's the other part of it is for me, like, I love education. I love learning, but I just never was able to do it in that environment. So like I'll spend a lot of time reading, watching YouTube videos, doing all that stuff for my education. And also it's like you've gotten into like stock trading.
Stock? Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Okay, what is it
I tell
then?
you all the time about this, but it's whatever.
What is it specifically then?
Futures. I mean, so technically stocks, but like.
Yeah. I'm just saying that so that the people understand. But it's like you have your own like interests that you're like kind of obsessed with. You do it every day. You're like, it's super engaged with it. And that's like something that you're doing on your own. It's like, that's not something that you're going to learn in school, but it's probably a way, like, I don't even know about the stocks like that. Like you already know more about that than I do at your age, which is just awesome. And it's awesome that now we have, influencers, whatever, in YouTube, where people have these specific, unique interests that they go dive into. And you can just be like, hey, this is what I'm into. Like, here's somebody that I like the way they communicate. They're funny, whatever, that has this shared interest. And now I can go learn on my own from somebody instead of having to go to, like school with maybe a teacher that you don't necessarily get along with.
It's true, yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to say before we dive out of this reaction?
Thanks for watching.
You heard it. Thanks for watching. And if you like what we're doing over here on the Diamond Owl Boys and you want to see more, go ahead and put a like, hit us with a sub, leave us a comment and let us know, what should I introduce him to next? I think I'm going to show him a live version of Pink Floyd. That'll be the next Pink Floyd reaction that we do, because their live performances are absolutely remarkable. You already know that. That's why you're tapping in. But I'm going to introduce him to that next. So we will see you on the next one. Peace. You want to try that again? We will see you on the next one. Peace. You're just going to leave me hanging.
Fucking what?
That's all right. You'll get the timing down eventually.